Welcome back, terrestrials, to another episode of We Made Rob Zombie Cry. In this episode, we're doing top 5 Wes Craven movies. Now, this is opinion based, so don't jump down our throats because you don't agree. Leave it in the comments section and we'll have a discussion about it.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the video, please like, subscribe, and maybe even share a video or two. Cost you nothing and it helps us with our algorithm, so we greatly appreciate it. Moving into the video, top 5 Wes Craven movies.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, do you think our lists are going to be the same?
No, they're going to be completely opposite. And you're going to be angry.
All right, interesting.
Yeah. They're going to
All
go, what? Motherfucker.
All right.
Dale Cooper. All right, my number 5.
Yes.
My number 5 is The Hills Have Eyes. I think that, it's a great Wes Craven movie, but he's not there yet. Like, you can tell a Wes Craven movie. He has certain dialogue. This had a really interesting idea and premise. I know he came up with it, but we talk about it in the remake. I think our remake video, where in Wes's movie, they're wild people. In the remake, they're like Fallout family, and I like the Fallout family, but
yeah,
Hills Have Eyes.
Okay.
Number 5.
Cool.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is The Last House on the Left. Remember, this is just a movie. That's the tagline for this movie because at the time it was so shocking. I saw this a lot later than I saw I Spit on Your Grave. I hold I Spit on Your Grave in high regards, so I love that one. And this one is relatively the same premise. I don't remember if it came before or after, but it's still a really good movie. It's still got a lot of shock value. You really feel for the characters after.
Yeah. Well, no, I want to say that Hills was the original. And I Spit on Your Grave was just trying to start that revenge rape exploitated movie genre, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't think we're even talking about the same thing. I was saying I don't know if I Spit on Your Grave or Last House on the Left came first.
Yeah. If I had a gambler's choice, I would say Last.
Came first?
Yes.
Okay. Last came first. Got it. Yeah, so that's my number 5. I like the movie. I don't watch it often because it makes me feel dirty, but there's still some pretty awesome sequences in the movie. So that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Scream.
Ooh, that's pretty low.
Yeah. Well, we've talked numerously about Scream. I still think it's a great movie. I think it's the death of the slashers. But yeah, number 4, Scream.
Interesting. So my number 4 is The Hills Have Eyes. Again, like you said, I do like the remake more. I think the Fallout family is a better idea, more interesting idea, but you don't get that idea without this original. So I have to show credit to it, and I do like it. So that's my number 4. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. We've talked about Nightmare also. It's a great, Freddy is amazing character. I think Freddy got better without West. I think West created this great idea, but I think Freddy was better evolved in the later movies.
Okay.
But you know, I still got to pay homage. And yeah, my number 3 is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay. That's interesting. I'm a little shocked to hear you say that, especially because I know how much you like that movie.
Yeah, I'm a
But
Jason guy too. So
all right. Well, my number 3 is Vampire in Brooklyn.
holy shit.
I don't know why. I have loved this movie as
Thank you
like
for
since I was a
I'm
kid.
so glad that you had the balls to burn and be like, yeah, I'm gonna put Vampire in Brooklyn now. Okay,
I enjoy the movie. Like
go ahead. I'm gonna set my microphone. I want to hear this.
I saw, like, I know it's a dumb movie, but first of all, Eddie Murphy. I love Eddie Murphy. It's just it's 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 black exploitation without the exploitation part.
Yeah, it's like Blackula.
They made like a fun black vampire movie, but
And it was
without
still the
the,
time where Eddie cared. Like
well,
it wasn't
yeah,
that
yeah.
Osmosis Jones, the million, like what were they? Not the fatties from fucking Tropical Thunder. What was
The professor,
yeah,
the
what's their
nutty
name?
professors.
The
Oh, the
Clumps.
clumps. Yeah, the
Yeah.
clumps.
Like that's when you
Um,
could really tell that Eddie Murphy didn't care.
right.
Pluto
Yeah.
Nash, shit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Bullfinger.
Goldfinger. Yeah,
Yeah,
these trash ass
fucking
movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire in Brooklyn is probably like one of the last really, you know, where he's not like, wait a minute, I'm gonna get $25 million and all I gotta do is talk into a microphone as Donkey
Yeah.
for Shrek. Shit, yeah, fucking. So
Yeah. I saw it. I grew up with very closely with a black family, and I spent a lot of time at their house. And this was one of the movies that one of their kids showed me. He was like, "You ever seen Vampire Brooklyn though?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't. What are we talking about here?"
yeah,
And then it was like it was it was always there, but I didn't notice it somehow. After I watched it, it was on TV constantly, and I
yeah,
would just watch it and watch it and watch it. And it was so interesting to me because every vampire I'd seen had been white. And then here's this cool, smooth vampire that's almost like a pimp.
yeah.
And it's like it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different movie, and I love it. So yeah, number 3.
Yeah, it's a great,
Uh
great vampire movie. So number 2,
yeah, go ahead.
my number 2 is People Under the Stairs. This movie is great. I believe it's a 5-star movie.
Mhm.
People in the we talked last year extensively about People Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
I love it. There's not enough more that I can say about it. The acting, the actors, the premise, the underline like idea of it.
Mhm.
He hit everything right with that one.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So my number 2 is going to be The People Under the Stairs. Um, and I think that, like you mentioned, we did a whole review on this movie by
Yep.
itself. Amazing movie, 5-star movie. If you want to check it out, we'll make sure that the little thingy pops up here that will take you there, and then you can ignore that video too.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my number 2. What's your number 1?
See,
You haven't, there's not a
you don't
lot
get like
left.
a you. Well, I was thinking the same for you. Like
Well,
you.
so this is the fun thing about the way I designed this list.
Okay.
There's 2 things that could be number 1.
Yes.
There's 2 obvious choices for number 1, and it's like, oh, which one's he going to pick? You already said what I thought your number 1 would be. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out what that could possibly be, because Scream's already down there. You already put Nightmare on Elm Street
Nightmare.
on
Yeah.
there. So what is your number 1? Don't keep
My
us waiting.
number 1 is the Wishmaster. No. My number 1 is Serpent in the Rainbow. I love this movie. I think it is the most accurate movie with zombies,
Mhm,
like the actual Haitian
mhm.
style idea. It's terrifying. It's like really like it just feels different. It feels grimy.
Mhm.
It like the horror that comes into the movie is from some other place about like, like what is voodoo? It
Mhm.
isn't this like 1950s idea of like a witch doctor, biting the heads off chickens, the old
Mhm.
class. No, this is a real thing in Haiti, and it is fucking scary, or it can be
Mhm.
blissful,
Yeah.
and Serpent in the Rainbow. I think it's one of the best voodoo movies, and I think it's one of Wes Craven's best.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Um, so my number one, because I saw Serpent in the Rainbow because you gave me the DVD and you were like, here, go watch the zombie movie.
Yeah.
I took it home and I was like, where the fuck are the zombies? Jerry doesn't know what he's talking about. This is when
No.
we first like met each other and like you had that huge DVD collection. I didn't learn to appreciate it till well after the fact.
Right.
But I do now appreciate it. It didn't make my list. But anyways, moving into my number one. My number one, you want to take a shot? You want to take a guess?
I'm gonna think Scream. You left off Nightmare.
Yep. Scream. I this this revitalized slasher movies in a time when slasher movies were just dead.
Yeah, they were
Um,
overdone.
they were pointless, they were stupid, and
Corny.
yeah, it was. I know what you did last summer and shit like that, and then here's the
Well,
master of like one
I
of the
know what you did
masters.
last summer was a side effect of Scream.
Well, then, all right. My number one is Nightmare on
Yeah.
Psycho. No. But yeah, I think that this re lit the fire that is slashers. I think
Yeah.
that we wouldn't have an Art the Clown or Victor Crowley or any of these slashers if it weren't for this. That genre had been stagnant for a long time.
Hmm.
The crap that was coming out was no good, and then you take one of the masters of slashers and he comes at you with this fresh new
Concept and
slasher.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so it has to take number one. As much as I love Nightmare on Elm Street, I I love Scream for that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the greatest movie ever, but it served a very important purpose in the
Yeah.
horror genre, so it gets my number one slot.
Yeah. It was like the last hurrah. There was a last hurrah, and then like, it was like that 80s coasting on slashers, and then the 90s started fizzling the idea, and horror icons from the 80s started becoming too cartoony
Yeah.
or too like, yeah, we know what's going to happen in this movie. And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden Scream hit, and it brought in the whole tidal wave of those like teen bop horror movies.
Yeah.
I Know What You Did
Well,
Last Summer,
it
Urban
also made
Legend,
people.
Faculty.
I love Faculty. I think it's such an underrated horror movie.
I think it's
Um,
underrated, but it's that MTV
yeah, I agree.
generation.
And yeah, H2O, the Faculty,
Yeah.
all those things.
Yeah.
Um, I think that it just made people take that genre seriously again.
Yeah.
And so I think it's an important piece of work,
It
more or
kept it
less.
around, and at least until something like Blair Witch came out. When Blair Witch
Right.
came out, that's when it really, and then The Ring, and
Mhm.
we're in a new genre. you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Nobody's getting stabbed.
Right.
We got worried about ghostesses. Ghostesses are what's really scary, and little girls crawling out of wells, and little boys that meow like cats at you and shit. Fucking scary shit. We're talking about real scary shit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. So that's our top 5 Wes Craven lists. If you agree, let us know. If you don't,
Fuck
us your
you. No.
give us your top five,
Yeah.
and let's compare and
Did we
contrast.
miss something?
I
Should
don't think so. There
Wishmaster
were
have
just
been on the list?
no.
Should Swamp
Uh,
Thing or fucking, I don't know, he made a rom-com.